It's time to check out the BoxTrolls Rosherun Trollstrikes. These shoes were auctioned off on eBay, and the money went to a charity that supported adoption. Now, the BoxTrolls is the third full-feature movie from Laika. Laika first came out with Coraline, then Paranorman, and then BoxTrolls. And each of these movies came with limited edition Nikes. And the reason why is Phil Knight is the owner of Laika, and his son Travis Knight is the president and CEO of Laika. So in the movie BoxTrolls, this little boy is raised in the sewer by BoxTrolls. He meets a girl from the real world, and they get together and save the BoxTrolls. Interestingly, the little girl in the movie is Elle Fanning, Dakota Fanning's little sister. And you may recall that Dakota Fanning was the main character in Coraline. Anyway, before we get into this incredible pair of shoes, I want to talk a little bit about Nike Roshi. So let's move the shoes and the DVD out of the way. Before we do, check out this box. It's laser etched. It actually took Nike a month to laser etch these boxes. And so after people won their auctions on eBay, they had to wait more than a month for the shoes to get shipped because of the boxes. We'll get back to these troll strikes, I promise, but I'd like to introduce the Nike Roshi. And while I do, let's talk a little bit about Team Roshi. Go to teamroshi.com or follow them on Twitter or Instagram. It's a website and social media completely dedicated to this incredible shoe. It originally released in 2012 in 7 colors. This is one of the original colors, the red one right here, and it's one of my favorites. These shoes originally were just $70. It's a very simple shoe, and that was the point of it all along. Dylan Rash was the main designer of this shoe, and it was inspired by meditation and Zen. Actually, Roshi is a Zen master, and that's where the name comes from. There are little bits and pieces on Roshis that are inspired by Japanese gardens. Let's check out the outsole. It's a modified waffle. They're supposed to look like stones going into a garden. And then when you look at the insole right here, that's actually supposed to look like freshly raked rocks. Very, very cool. So originally they came out at 70 bucks. Lately Roshis have been bumped up to $75, and there's so many different models. You gotta love the blacks right here. Mark Parker in an interview last year said that this was his desert island shoe. This would be his one and only shoe. And this shoe was also worn by Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, during his most recent big meeting in front of the entire company. So let's get these out of the way, and let's get back into the Dare to Be Squares. That's what the box says right here, the Troll Strike. So Dylan Rash designed the Roshi, but these Roshis were actually designed by Tinker Hatfield. And his inspiration, of course, was the Troll Strikes BoxTroll movie. Let's get everything out of here. Comes with a real cool burlap sack right here. So many little details from the sack to the box, to these extra socks, which say bandages, they're supposed to look like gauze, come from things in the movie. Distressed leather upper, burlap. You'll notice the way that these things tie is sort of like old jackets. They say that this is a steampunk tie. Victorian steampunk was the style of this shoe, and in addition to the pairs that were auctioned off on eBay, there was a contest where people had to make something primarily out of cardboard in Victorian steampunk style, and they could win a pair of these shoes. If you want to see an amazing video, check out Mr. Foamer Simpson's review. He was one of the winners. Incidentally, he also won the Paranorman foams a little bit earlier. Let's look at the details of these shoes. Distressed leather, tweed, burlap, hemp. The inside's supposed to look like cheese. The midsoles are supposed to look like the sewer, those little cobblestones right there. This is one of the most desirable Roshis, and it's not the only one that Tinker Hatfield designed. He also designed a pair for the TV show Grimm, and it's even more rare than these. I want to move these out of the way, and I want to talk a little bit about the movie BoxTrolls. So the movie's stop motion, and that's the big thing over at Laika. That means that in the movie, they do everything by hand and move all of the little characters little by little, piece by piece. The best part of this movie is actually the way end, where they show a time-lapse stop motion of them moving the characters around. And I want to show you something really cool. check out the Coraline Dunks. I've already done a video on Coraline Dunks. I recommend you checking it out. There's a few different editions of the Coralines. These are the big buttons, and these are the movie props. There's also a regular pair that doesn't have big buttons or movie props. Comes in a regular sportswear box. And then there's one of 15 that comes in a wood case. I love the movie props right here. Check this out though. Recently, I was able to find another pair of movie prop Coralines. How amazing is that? Put the DVD right there. And this pair actually came with cotton candy. At first I was worried that it was real cotton candy and it was going to be stale, but that's just a prop too. But the most amazing thing about these shoes is actually this little piece right here that comes from the cat's mouth. It really shows what stop motion is all about. So when you look at these two pieces, you'll notice that they're different. And in order for them to make a stop motion movie, they must have hundreds of these little pieces. And so when the cat says a word, at first they'll have this little piece in here, and then they'll take it out and put another piece in there, and then another piece and another piece. And at the end of the Trollstrikes BoxTrolls movie, they show this time-lapsed, and it's absolutely incredible. The crazy thing about this auction is the seller thought that the pair was broken because this little piece is not attached here. But it's not supposed to be attached here because they moved them around, and that's the only way that they were able to get the cat to talk in the movie. I stole this pair on eBay. It was about $500 or $600, and these pairs of shoes with the movie props are worth at least $1,500. Interestingly, the Coralines were made in size 5. The Paranormans were made in size 6, and the BoxTroll shoes were made all the way down to size 3.5. The reason why they made the BoxTrolls so small is because the theme was adoption and they wanted to make the shoes for the whole family. But I just want to say one thing. The Dunks were made in a size 5, the Paranormans were made in a size 6. It pretty much seems like they were already making these Laika shoes for the whole family. Anyway, it's been a pleasure checking out all of these shoes, and I look forward to the 2016 Laika movie and whatever shoes they come out with that.